We are live and we're going through quite a bit of research today, and in particular, why Solana is looking very good with a little bit of technical analysis. We'll give it a few seconds and then we'll jump into it. Okay, so this is from Trader CSK. I've been following this person for quite some time, met them very, very briefly at Breakpoint, and I apologize to anyone at Breakpoint that I didn't really have much time for. I will not do any future content at conferences. It takes up a lot of time. Let's get straight to the point. So basically, he's bullish on Solana. Of course, you know, we are a Solana channel for the most part. So no surprises there. But I'm going to show you back data of what his thesis was. So this is a fractal. So a fractal is like a chart pattern like this that plays out, and then people can see if there's going to be some sort of reversal or something happening. So this is this fractal, and it's been played out right here. I'll move myself for a second. This is a very recent tweet, and now let me show you something for context. This was October 20, 2023. The price of Sol was $26.27, and he said, the Sol rally will be hated by many. You've got through the hardest part. Hardest part was go down to $8. Don't get shaken out before the fun starts. Stay patient. And then all these lines, nothing's happened yet. This is him basically believing this is a fractal, right? This is a fractal coming here, and then boom, boom, boom. And then you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 big monthly candles. So up month, up month, up month, up month. These are the 4 biggies that put us right over 1100. And then he pointed out that 1 year ago, he actually posted the Sol fractal, and this is how it looks now. And so it largely played out. Like, we didn't get near 300 yet, but this fractal did repeat. So it was definitely, you know, very decent technical analysis here of seeing this pattern. And the next step is this. Now, this is the next thing. If last cycle, the all-time high of ETH meant that the market cap was 580 billion. This cycle, it could get to that, to be perfectly honest. I'm doing a video, an extensive video on this. And if you do this, if you use this website, I can't remember what it is, but you do like a, you know, Sol with a market cap of ETH all-time high. So previously, it would be 1200. Now, I don't think it's going to be 1200 because this doesn't factor in inflation. But $900 is certainly possible. Right now, we're like 165, 168, something like that. So that's still a decent bump up. All right. Next bit of news. Away from the Sol stuff, of course, very bullish on Sol. I can accumulate Sol for sure. This here is from Neste, and gold giving a hint that time below 6 figures for Bitcoin is running out. And this is like, gold doesn't do much typically, but it's starting to do something. And same thing with Bitcoin. They kind of tend to match each other in a large way because it's supposed to be gold, and then Bitcoin's supposed to be digital gold. So for whatever reason, you know, the whales have decided to be like that. They follow each other. In terms of the actual market cap of everything, there's a little bit of red, but very, very small amounts. You know, certainly nothing to leverage up, leverage down. We were just in green just before, and now we're in a little bit of red. But we've been holding up against BTC very, very well. And we're still greedy, nothing crazy, kind of healthy levels of greed, I guess you could say. Now, this is very important because this is the Sol ETH value. And so we've crossed the all-time highs. So this is way back in the previous cycle when Sol was, you know, effectively overvalued for sure. And then, you know, up we go. And then from there, it came on down until November, right? November went down to November, and then December it went down to $8, and ETH was the better buy, right? It was better to hold ETH. And then essentially every minute since, pretty much, it has been better to hold Sol. And when ETH went around 4K, I was so tempted just to swap it all into Sol, and I didn't. And I think this is going to continue to be more and more dominant. There's just too many good things happening over in Solana. This is from Cointelegraph, which I'm not, this is basically, this viewpoint is that retail is starting to come in, just retail with bigger money. They're buying ETFs as opposed to signing up with Coinbase. And you use Coinbase to see new wallets or new users. That shows that retail is coming in. So 80% of BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF buyers are direct investors, 75% being first-time ETF buyers. So new money is coming in. However, it's not like proper new money, which will happen beginning of next year, in my opinion. But in general, the ETFs are doing very, very well. Well, the Bitcoin ETFs are doing very, very well. There's still massive net inflows. So even though we go from like 69,000 or 68,900 down to 66, we are still seeing like 320 million, like massive net inflows. People buy, people will sell, of course, but we're still, in this little consolidation period, ready to hit the banana zone. ETH, on the other hand, still a decent amount, $1 billion in the ETF, but not very much. Like there's 26x that, and there's only about 3 million coming in at present. So yeah. Now there's a new Jupiter ASR vote. It's a very simple one, and this will go live on Friday. So probably the same thing, go live Friday. We have to do it by maybe Monday, but I'll let you know as soon as we've got the exact details. And all it is, you can read this if you like, but right now we need a minimum threshold of 60 million JUP tokens to be voted with. And they're going to change that from 60 million to 120 million, which is, it's a good move. It doesn't really matter too much because Fabian has done this thread, and basically every single vote has always been over 60 million anyway. So putting it to 60 million, when we're up at like 250 million now, it doesn't really matter, but it's an important thing to do in case things start to get a little bit, like now that we're more and more becoming more decentralized, you don't want something to happen and then a whale push through a proposal, and the proposal gets voted on and then it gets passed, and there should have been a higher quorum. So do that voting come Friday. Now, JUP in general, JUP, think of the fact that the actual BTC price has been, up, down, up, down. Not a lot of strength, but the actual JUP token kind of follows Solana to a large degree. So if you look at this, you think, well, we've come down. Yeah, well, so is Solana. We're doing better and better. And one very important thing to keep in mind is we've had 2 lots of active staking rewards, which have been over 40%, especially when you factor in all the other things. So as long as if you're holding JUP and staking JUP, good. If you're holding JUP and doing something else with it, you're probably not, it's not going to work out. You need to stake and do the votes. So we're down 44%, you might think, but we're basically at parity. And people will always ask things like, can JUP go to $10 or $7 or $20? And I think JUP will do very, very well. I think it's going to become one of those meme coin kind of mega community coin, a lot of memes made out around it, as well as a governance token. That's just a thesis I have. There's no real substance to it. But I'm not saying like $10, but I definitely, 5, 7, something like that. Sure. No financial advice, of course. Raydium, which is a pooling system that I don't generally like to do, but if they're paying us to go and play over there, I'm down. This is USDC and EURC in a very low tier setting, and you get a whole lot of EURC and Ray. The Ray token may be going up. All I do, I believe, is just buy and burn. They did have a very good accelerator, or basically a way to to launch a project in the previous cycle. If they bring that back this cycle when the time is right, Ray price will do well. So you may want to actually, if you're into this, you may want to hold the Ray, but you may just want to sell it. This is the liquidity pool here, and right now it's 204%. So this is decent. If you've got stables, put them to work. 204%. This is the total APR, so annual. You would have to claim the rewards each week or whatever, or do what you like, and they'll probably get less and less and less. But I'll be jumping into this right now with some, and then as soon as this kind of touches down, maybe under 70% or 60%, I'll kind of leave. That's my thing. So you may want to get amongst it for I don't know, a week. There's another pooling system here with XBorg, and I'm not even too familiar with XBorg. To be perfectly honest, I'm just letting you know that something you may want to ape into briefly. This is with Kamino, a milli XBG incentives over the next 2 months, totaling 250,000. And this is the price. Sorry, I should actually know what it is, but I don't. But in terms of the price, like this is zooming out to max. So this is even this year, 6 cents, boom, into like 28 cents, 24 cents. And you come here, you find the liquidity pool. We've covered this many times, so I'm not going to show you how it's done. There's always impermanent loss as a risk, but this is earning very decent. You're earning fees from just trading fees, and then there's XBG rewards as well. I don't know exactly what it is, but it looks pretty decent. This is 16,000. We could probably do some math here quickly if you wanted. Actually, we'll just go back a page, and then we can just kind of roughly calculate it just to make it faster. But 16,000 of these a week. 16,000, and the TVL's 551,000 right now. So if we kind of bring up a calculator and quickly show you this, what did I say, like 3,900, something like that, times 52, it's like $202,000, or maybe I've backed it up. What did I do? Sorry. 3,900. Well, look, basically we're getting about 50% rewards from the extra rewards. So you may want to jump in once again for a limited time. As soon as this TVL gets up to like 1 million, you'd probably pull out. It just gives you a nice kind of little fee system. You get Kamino points here as well. It's on Raydium, so you don't get Meteor points, unfortunately. But Kamino points, bullish on. DIvvyBet, the actionable here is they're coming up very soon for their Bonk Live kind of IDO thing launch. And if you have any of these NFTs, which I've got some, I bought them like in the beginning, they must be staked, otherwise you may as well sell them. I have not staked mine. I need to find where they are, but stake them, and then you'll be getting some sort of return. I hope these guys do well. And I met with one of the founders, and we'll cover the launch close to the time. Also, if you want to try and win some, I'll have this link below. You can get amongst this. Get amongst it. Do this. Sign up here. Blah, 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 blah. Could be worth your time. Drop a little 777 in the chat. Oh, you know what I mean. Okay. Back to the calendar, or to the calendar every time. Anything here of major interest to you, check it out. Biggest thing, of course, is stake your soul with validator.com. If it's sitting there idle, it's just a waste. You may as well basically sell it. You must get amongst it and stake. Let's go through some actionables, then we'll take a couple of questions. DCA Sol on JUP.AG, stake with validator.com. Nothing, of course, is financial advice, but staking is very, very important to the ecosystem. It's very important. Otherwise, you lose to inflation. And then DCA into your favorite meme coins. It is a meme coin super cycle in that sense, in my opinion. And you may want to get amongst that. Deposit some Sol and into the XBG Sol liquidity pool. You have to be mindful of impermanent loss. But the price looks pretty stable, which should mean it could be pretty good, especially if you're going for like a week, 2 weeks, something like that. But the real alpha is if you hold stables, deposit into USDC and the EURC LP for just probably 1 week. Maybe we can go a little longer. It depends as soon as that APR drops down. If that APR drops down too fast, we'll be out of that. Airdrop actionables, the drill. Eclipse Bridge, mint the commemorative NFT. Walrus Protocol by Miston Labs, complete the Galaxy task and mint the NFT. And that's everything for today. But I will take a couple of questions, and I do want to answer a question from a little while ago. I've kind of forgotten about this, but I did some research, so I'll share. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the answer that someone is after, but I'll tell you nevertheless. So somebody asked about, what about FalX? So I played around. I checked out Masari to see if there's anything on there. I've got a token, and long story short, not bullish. I'm going to sum it up, ideally in like 30 seconds. So this is a DEX. It's a DEX competitor. They launched a token. They did a pre-sale a very long time ago. Their liquidity pool went on to Raydium. They do not have enough money in the actual on the platform to be included as a DEX. On Jupiter, you need to have 500,000, I believe, from what I saw in their Discord. This is their pools, so you can see the TVL's too low. Okay, the TVL's just now pumped up somehow. That's interesting. Maybe the price just pumped up since I did my research. So now they may be started to get incorporated into Jupiter. Now the actual FalXDEX token, it's just a farming opportunity. So if you want to enter, the only time to use these would be if you want to try and get some of that FalXDEX and then just go and swap it. And if we have a look and see what the price has done, you'll see that it's definitely, I mean, the original people that jumped in, I believe they did okay. They did okay in the sense that, you know, they bought this pre-sale price and then they're up. But then since then, like, we won't even go from the all-time highs, but it's just been a significant bleed because it is a token that's just been released. They've got some other things that, you know, they're working on and whatnot. Unfortunately, it's very hard to take on Raydium and Orca, and the only ones I think that will be able to beat them will be Meteor. So that's my information when it comes to FalXDEX. I hope you're watching. Let's have a look and see what everyone's asking. Switchboard Foundation announced hopefully an airdrop soon. So Switchboard is an Oracle. Oracles haven't done particularly well, but you know, I've mentioned before to try and farm it by using different things and collect these orbs, but I haven't been doing that myself. Together, announcing Switchboard Protocol Foundation Group and an exclusive look at our new white paper. All right, well, we could potentially cover that another day, but if you can find from Jesse, I think is how we pronounce it, Jesse and Fabiano, anything on Switchboard, you may want to try and farm that a little bit. Up to you. Any insights can you give on Greed Academy Season 2? Thanks for doing the lessons. Staying safe. I can't. You know, I was just asked to do it by the Greed Academy, and I said yeah, but no idea. But I'm pretty sure. I hope it's even better. That's all I can say. And new type, I've now seen this, and I have given you the information. I'm using Messari Lite. Is the upgrade to Pro really worth that work? The ask didn't work for the 1 month trial. That's unusual. That is strange. I think Messari is brilliant. Like you need to put some effort into your research, of course. And I was, you know, trying to build a team that would research and whatnot, which is, of course, what we want to do. And Messari saves significant amount of time. And if it's in some ways, if it's not on Messari, it's either too early or it's kind of rubbish. They don't get everything, but it just gives us really decent stuff. I reckon you should be able to use the Copilot thing. If it doesn't work for you, if it's maybe expired, try with a different account, give it a go, so you can give it a go. But I think this is where I want to be spending like 2 or 3 hours a day, just me personally, as well as my researchers looking through here. And as an example, ApeChain, we were speaking about it yesterday, and so they went in and had a look, but they actually didn't find that much information on ApeChain. All we've got is like ApeCoin. So once again, that kind of indicates to me that ApeChain is super, super early. And we can ask Copilot, you know, what news can you give us about ApeChain? There'll be people out there that are saying that like I'm shilling this. There's no referral or anything. The code is like you get a discount or you get a free month, and there's no referral. It's just a good thing. I would much rather people do better by getting smarter and smarter. So we can go through this as an example, and we just save a whole lot of time. And then we find the sources that we're after, and then if we want to, we can go and read that article. So that's why I think, yeah, is it worth it? Far more. Cool. Are there any more questions? Think we're good. Thanks very much for tuning in. Let me know what kind of content you're after. but I'm going to work on a couple of videos and get them released to you soon. Cheers. Thanks.